welcome to Lavender Testimonies. Whether you're a returning listener or a first-time listener, we warmly welcome you. This week's testimony will definitely be a blessing onto your life. Have a great week, and shalom.
I've heard about Jesus basically all my life when I was old enough to understand, from a little child on up, going to church with my grandparents, my aunt. So I pretty much knew about Jesus just from them going to church and everything. I can't say I really actually had a curiosity about Jesus. I mean, to me, it was Jesus, Jesus, God, Lord, like I said, I grew up knowing about him and everything, but I can't say I was really curious about it. I just knew that he was there, that, I was aware of him. So, I just took it as that he existed, whether I could see him or not, that he just existed. Whether I was, really in tune to him or not, just by growing up in a religious household and everything, I just knew he existed. I think my first encounter was when I was in my late 30s. I think my mid to late 30s, when I was going through my first marriage, after I had got out the military. I think I was somewhere. I think I was getting my hair done or something somewhere. And something happened. I think it was my first ex-husband. He was late picking me up from something. And I think I asked a question, because at that point in time, we were staying with my mother. One of my younger siblings, I think she was pregnant or something. And I think I was supposed to be going to church that night. And at that time, I was staying in Fayetteville. And the church that I was going to, I got introduced to that church by my cousin, because I used to go spend time with my cousin on the weekends or whatever. So I got introduced to the church through her and her family. So I came back from wherever it was I was at, and I think I asked a simple question. And it was crazy. I asked a simple question, and I got a smart remark to my question. And for some odd reason, I completely snapped. I think I must have cursed everybody out in the house, from my husband to my mama to my sister. I think I literally cursed every single person in that house completely out. And I mean, I just said, freak this, whatever, even though that's not the word I use, but I just went completely off, and I just said, and I just went, got dressed, on my way to church. The church from where I was staying was like almost a whole 2 counties over. So it must have had to been about an hour or something away from where I was staying. I promise you, I got to that church from Fayetteville, North Carolina to Scotland County or Laurinburg, North Carolina. Must have been every bit of about 30 minutes. And I'm not going highway. I'm going straight town, city roads. And I got to church. And when I got there, I don't know, I just got there and just something went through me. Just something kind of went through me at that point in time while the pastor was preaching and everything. And it was like our revival that night at church. So I just like, whew, okay. Then when in America, we have the Baptist churches and so on, and they always do altar prayer or call to worship, all of that good stuff. And it was like doing that whole sermon, it was just something that was going through me, something that was working in me, something that was going through me. And when the pastor called at the end, for altar prayer, I think I about literally broke my neck trying to get to that altar. And I got there and I just broke down in tears and everything. And at that point in time, I felt something lift, something just open with me and everything. And that was literally my first encounter with Jesus. That was literally my first encounter. Even though I went through that encounter, life still kind of got in the way. The devil was still out there doing what he was doing. I went through some other different changes from that time on up. I would tell people, when you encounter God or when you encounter Jesus, don't kind of continue to be you, continue to do you, continue to be you. Try to live by the book, but still don't try to throw your whole self into it. So I can kind of say that from that time until recently, you know, people call it backsliding. I'm not gonna say I backslid. It was just that I was just living and I was just doing me, because my thought process is when God is ready to take it all from you, He will. So over the course of time, I find that things that I used to indulge in, I don't do it anymore. Places I used to go, I don't feel like going anymore. You know, other things, you know, I used to do, I don't do anymore. So I'm still a work in progress, so to speak. If they have an encounter, go with it. Just go with it. Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say, okay, I'm saved, so now I'm just gonna throw my whole self into it. I wouldn't necessarily give that advice to anybody, because I've had 2 people in my life that's done that, and they both backslid. And I told them at that point in time, don't do it. Don't throw yourself into it, because eventually you're gonna backslide. And they did. they both did. So what I would say is, if you get the Spirit, if you feel Him or whatever the case, let it come gradually. Let it work with you. Let Him work with you. Because in all, whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, eventually He'll change you. He's going to work with you. He's going to go through you, and you'll feel it. You'll just feel it. It may take some time. May take a few years, because Lord Jesus, it took me some years. It took me to like darn near late 40s, early 50s, till it finally finally set with me. And I know I still have things to go, because all in all, we're human first. He doesn't expect us to be perfect. He doesn't expect us to jump. He expects us to be us first. Like I said, when He's ready to take everything from you, He will. You'll feel it. You'll change. You'll feel it coming on. You'll feel it, and then you'll know that He's working with you. If you find yourself going through some different challenges, like I found myself going through a whole lot of challenges, you just got to have faith. You just have to have faith. You have to let it go. Like they say, take it to the altar and let it go. Let go and let God. He's going to work it out. He's going to work through you. He's going to work through it. He's going to work it out. The song says the battle is not yours, it's the Lord. What I would say to encourage somebody is to let Him work with you and through you, and don't just throw yourself into it. Just let it come. Let it gradually still be you, because by being you, He's going to work with you, and you'll see that it's going to work out for the best.